Hello friends, welcome to ThinkerViews podcasts, where we share our book reviews with you. Author Kazuo Ishiguro has been widely praised and acknowledged for his works starting from 1980s to current day. Born in Japan and raised in UK, he has been recipient of accolades including the Nobel Prize for Literature, and his books are part of all recommended reading lists as well as have made it to student curriculum in many countries. Known for the wide variety of his work, that is, all his novels are quite different from one another in terms of setting, backgrounds, characters, and themes, makes the readers look forward to his work with anticipation. Never Let Me Go is his sixth novel and was first published in 2005. This popular book has been on our reading list for some time, and recently I had a chance to listen to this book in an audiobook format. So here are my thoughts for all of you on behalf of Team ThinkerViews. Let us take a look at the cover page of this book, the gateway to the fictional story explored within. The title of the novel has been derived from a song by Judy Bridgewater's Songs After the Dark, which speaks of loneliness and yearning. As you take a quick glance through the cover pages of various versions of this book, you see notable differences, indicating the flavor of times when the book was published. But the theme of someone indistinct, only there in images and partial presence, has been carried through. A sense of sadness is still conveyed when you look at these cover pages. I would love to see a cover page for this book in future that is more visually appealing. Let's discuss the storyline now. Our narrator is Katie H. She is 31 years old and she has been a carer for over 11 years now. And as she takes us through her life, we see the England of last century through her memories. And it is rather different than what you will remember from those days. Katie grew up in a boarding school called Hailsham. Her closest friends here were Tommy and Ruth. Tommy is prone to tantrums and rages and often gets teased by other boys who take advantage of this to play pranks. And they are all looked after by teachers who are called guardians. Miss Emily is the head teacher. Then there is Miss Lucy, who seems to care for them. And then there is Madame, who seems to be afraid of the students, like someone would be afraid of the spiders. The highlight of the social calendar for the students are the little sales and gatherings where they swap their creations with others, get tokens to buy things from sales, and over time build their collections. The best samples of their creativity are taken to a gallery, although no one is sure where that is. When the students are 16, they leave Hailsham to go and live in the cottages. This is where they meet others like them who grew up at various places in England but now are here until the next step of their lives, which is to become a carer for donors, for that is the ultimate fate of these students. The students are raised for specific purpose of being donors, and once they start that process in their late teens, they have a few cycles to go through before the end. What are the donors? Why were they raised in a place like Hailsham? What is the purpose of their existence? These answers are to be found by reading the book. So what did I think about the book? The book starts with Katie telling us about her present life, nearly like counting achievements, and then taking us through memory lanes as the story unfolds. Although Never Let Me Go is very often called a science fiction, to me it reads more like a layered mystery set in alternate version of our world, with a staged tell-all scene which may have some shock value in spite of the multiple hints through the narrative. Mainly because Kathy is talking to us like someone who already is part of their world, who has the background and the context of all the everyday words that are now specific terms in her world. For example, carer, donor, complete, possible, etc., which have a very different meaning in the worlds of this book. And so it is a book to be savored for its storytelling as much as the central thread of it. Kazuo Ishiguro has said in interviews that the students came to him first as living somewhere in the stark English countryside, with a sense of terrible fate hanging over them. And it was only when the news about first successful cloning of a sheep named Dolly hit the airwaves that he saw the framework for his students. And that sense of unreal and sometimes desolation is visible throughout. From the orphaned students to the peculiar behavior of their teachers to rather sad building up of their collections and developing love for inanimate objects that may have come from charitable throwaways. But the close growing up also shapes their behaviors around each other. Katie, Ruth, and Tommy. You can't help but like Katie for her quiet fortitude by end, and can't help but feel anguish for all three of them. Is it kindness to give the students sheltered, normal childhoods, encourage their creative sides, provide education, only to send them out in the world where their remaining lives will be lived to a purpose and will end in a few years' time? Why should they be grateful? They came here looking for something much more. What we gave them, all the years, all the fighting we did on their behalf, they knew nothing of it till now. All they feel now is disappointment because we haven't given them everything possible. And by then the book has asked us quite a few questions. What does it really mean to be a human? What does it mean to have a soul? And how far scientific experimentation can go without crossing ethical boundaries and moral obligations? And why, oh why, do we not run away from such fates? What makes us accept terrible lives, inescapable fates, and lives that never turn out to be what they could have been? And in that way, this book is not just a science fiction in dystopian world. It also is shining a light on that strength somewhere inside us that helps us face every day and keep living against all odds. I listened to this book in an audiobook format where the narrator helps bring the grave tones of the books to life. The book has also been adapted into a beautifully haunting movie version with a screenplay by Alex Garland, starring Carey Mulligan, Andrew Garfield, and Keira Knightley. So you have many platforms to enjoy the story, whether you read the book or listen to it in an audiobook format or watch the movie. So in summary, it is a thought-provoking and at times chilling tale of questioning what it is to be humans and what it is to keep facing every day when the future is all but a tentative blur. ThinkerViews rating for the book is at around 8 stars out of 10. So please let us know, have you read those books and whether you like them? Is there any other series that you are enjoying and would like us to review at ThinkerViews platform? Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you're enjoying this podcast, And until the next time, thank you for listening.